and gentlemen, if you are tuned in, set up a little bit early here. Hopefully people are able to let me know if my audio is not working. And yeah. Make sure I've got the chat open. All right. So, we're just going to give it a few minutes until 7 when folks will hopefully be on. And then we will explain what we're doing here. We'll get into the nitty-gritty details. Good boy, Ollie, get it. Oh, bless you. Hi, Nickleen. Nickleen? I don't know how you would pronounce that. I'm gonna assume it's Nickleen. Basically pronouncing it like it's spelled. But hi. Please let me know if my audio is working or not. I would be very appreciative to know well ahead of time if the audio is not working. Oh, sweet. Okay. So, we've got a viewer who says he can hear me, which is perfect. It means I'm set up properly. Are the audio levels okay? Do I need to turn up the game sound or anything like that? We'll be getting started here in just a couple minutes. We're just looking at the Argo with my lovely mercenary company logo on the side. So hopefully the overhead fan isn't too loud for folks. For whatever reason, the game makes my laptop run super hot, and the cooling pad I've got just doesn't keep up with it. So I have to turn on the overhead fan in order to make that kind of not fry. So I'm being told to increase the audio. Let's see, increase the volume on the game audio. So let me see if I can do that. It's already at 100% volume. Oh, that's the wrong one. It looks like I can go above 100%. So let me take it up to 110% and see if that makes a difference. So Nickleen, if you could let me know if that works or not, that'd be awesome. Yeah, it might also be that I just have to reduce the volume on the. You can tell I'm a rookie streamer. I suddenly had a moment of panic and I thought maybe my mic was muted, and I had to check it. But yeah, I can always just reduce the volume on the audio if need be. So just kind of let me know, and I'm happy to fine tune it because this kind of thing is always a little bit tricky. All right, 6:59. So one more minute. For those of you who have tuned in, let's see, we've got a couple people. Thank you very much for tuning in. Just want to kind of wait until the official kickoff time to kind of explain everything. And it's now officially 7 o'clock, according to my phone, which, as we all know, is the one true test of time. So, hi everybody. Ben from Ravensdale Publishing here, and I'm playing some Battletech. But it's not just Battletech, it is actually a very cool mod or bundle of mods called Roguetech. So it basically takes the Harebrained Schemes Battletech game and it introduces a bunch of mods that fans have basically put together that basically strip out the campaign aspect of the game and replace it with an open world sandbox, or I guess open galaxy sandbox type setup. So it's not as linear, it's not as restrictive. They've also gone in and made quality of life changes to a few things, and some might say more importantly, they've added a lot of difficulty. So they've tweaked and fine-tuned and balanced the melee, the combat, the evasion mechanics, all the stuff from the base game. They've kind of fiddled with it and tinkered with it and refined it to the stage that it's in now. So it's pretty awesome just by itself. I've been messing around with Roguetech a lot, and it's a lot of fun. The big thing that we run into with it is there's not much story. Because it strips out all the campaign elements, you're kind of just going to different systems, fighting other mechs, collecting the best mechs you can. Hygiene is very important. Thank you very much, Darius. That was my EXO there that was just chiming in. But like I was saying, there's not much story to Roguetech. There's no campaign mode behind it. So what I've done is decide to try a little bit of a hybrid kind of Frankenstein approach. And I'm playing Roguetech, but all of my pilots are actually going to be played on a role-playing platform called Storium, which is a website where you can go in and create games, and it's kind of a storytelling / role-playing game type format. It's more complex than that, but I don't want to get into it here. So Storium.com, go check it out if you want to. And yeah, so all of the pilots in the game are going to be played by characters or by players in the Storium platform. And so they're basically going to be interacting between the live streams of our missions, deciding who gets called out for a deployment, which mechs they get, things like that. And over the course of, the next few sessions, the next few scenes in the Storium game, we're going to be kind of hammering out the details of these pilots' personal stories. And so we'll figure out what kind of their end goal is, whether it is to go out there and assassinate a Lyran ambassador that betrayed their family, or if it's to go out and stop a band of pirates that came in and, destroyed their previous lance, whatever it happens to be. So we're going to figure all that out over the course of the next couple of games. This game here, we're just going to do a little introduction. I'm going to talk about Roguetech just a little bit for those of you who might have played Battletech and want to know what the differences are, and I'm going to make sure that we go over our different pilots. So it'll be a lot of fun. At least I expect it to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I know our pilots are. I think we've got at least a few of them online. It looks like we've got a few people watching. So if you are one of the pilots, please feel free to sound off in the chat. And yeah, let's introduce everybody to our pilots. So we're gonna go into the barracks and check our mech warriors. So first up at the top of the list, we've got Behemoth. And Behemoth, if I can just pull this up real quick. So anybody who's played Battletech is familiar with Behemoth. She's one of the kind of like starting characters that you always get in the campaign mode. We've switched her up here. So the player that is playing Behemoth has basically established her story, and she basically was kind of running around doing a few things with different mercenary units and other folks, basically other lances, and she ended up kind of getting not framed for murder, but she ended up getting pinned for a murder that she may or may not have committed. And from my impression, from my reading of the story, is that she did not commit the murder. But yeah, so she's kind of on the run. She's signed up with the mercenary company in order to make some money, hire some kind of a lawyer or an investigator or someone who can go in and actually clear her of the charges. And she's also looking for the Blood Grinders, the company that she was with previously. They kind of left her out to dry to go and to basically take the fall for this crime that she didn't commit. So that's the whole idea there. We'll have to figure out who the Blood Grinders are and see if she can, you know, amass enough personal money that she can make that happen. You can see here I've statted her out. She's pretty pretty balanced across the board. She's at a 4 skill level for gunnery, piloting, and guts and tactics. So she doesn't excel in any one place, but she's solid in all of them. And that's Behemoth. So
Waiting.
Next, we're going to look at Mr. Decker, another one that everybody should be familiar with. Just pulling up his little bio here in Storium.
You don't belong there.
The constant in-game interruptions are going to be a little bit annoying, but we'll see how it rolls. So, all right. So Nick Lean, one of our viewers, Decker is his pilot actually. So feel free to chime in the comments if I misinterpret anything about the character. But basically, Decker was a Capellan officer, and he was in charge of a planetary militia. So Succession Wars kind of happened. Anybody familiar with the Battletech universe will kind of be familiar with that. And let's see, I'm just trying to do a quick summary kind of glance. So basically, the Federated Suns attacked, and Decker was ordered to evac the planet and basically leave his soldiers planet side and just kind of leave them to the Federated Suns. So apparently the unit wasn't even supposed to be there, at least officially. They were kind of there doing something possibly shady. We're not sure. And Decker kind of got disillusioned by that because, you know, he watched all of his soldiers get killed off by the Federated Suns as his jump ship took off. So he, you know, he's kind of dealing with that, trying to figure out where his place in the world is. And yeah, so that's kind of his story, and that's what he's dealing with at the moment. Oh, nice. And then we've got another one of our pilots in the comments as well. Looks like Lou. I'll just call him Lou for the sake of brevity. Moving on to the next one, we've got...
I hear ya.
Orders?
And so for Decker, we've got him focused on gunnery, and then guts to give him the extra little bit of health. So he's gonna be one of our shooters. And then next we've got
Waiting
Glitch.
for orders.
So Glitch, her story is basically She is a newbie. She's being played by a player who isn't as familiar with the Battletech universe, and so the player figured it was best to represent a himself as a new player by having a fairly new pilot. So she's described as kind of a rookie. She doesn't really have much combat experience under her belt, and she's really excited to be part of the Lance and get into a mech and get out there on the ground. So she's also, because she's kind of a rookie, she doesn't excel at any one thing,
Hey, Dr.
but she's
Ryder.
kind of solid all
All
around.
lights in the
So that's good.
activations corridor are clear
Um,
again.
but yeah, so basically she went to,
Hang on, I'll send someone down.
jeez, she went to a Mech Warrior Academy. Um, let's see. So she was born. She was born to Illyrian and Federated Sons parents. So basically, they were married off to each other to kind of strengthen an alliance, and so they, yeah, it's kind of an interesting background there. But clearly, they were military background, military bred, and so Glitch herself was kind of expected to fall in that tradition. So she trained to be a mech warrior, but refused to go to enter the military, and basically kept saying she was going to go to Solaris 7 and kind of become a gladiator. So she got in trouble when a boyfriend of hers who was spying on behalf of an unknown entity basically bailed on her and left her holding the bag as a spy. So that's kind of an interesting background. We'll have to see how that pans out. If we can identify who the spy is and who he's spying for, and things like that. So yeah, it's kind of a green recruit, and she'll be actually featured in today's mission. So we'll go from there.
Ready for orders.
Next, we got GV. He's one of the backer pilots originally, but we went ahead and turned him into a new character. So this is a guy who he's from the Free Worlds League. No real military background or pedigree to speak of, and he is basically trying to earn his stripes or prove his mettle. So he's trying to get out there and prove that he can be a mech warrior, even though he was born a spacer from the Free Worlds League, and he doesn't have the the kind of military pedigree to back it up and things like that. So he's out there trying to prove that he's a capable of hanging with the big guys. I went ahead and gave him piloting as his primary skill because it made sense to me that if he's trying to prove himself, he wants to make sure that he can maneuver in a mech and he can kind of, pull some fancy stunts and things like that. So he's more about moving fast and things like that than he is about shooting or taking lots of damage or anything like that. So that was kind of my thought for him.
Yep.
Next, we've got Medusa. I believe Medusa is one of the characters that we don't have claimed yet. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, so Medusa's unclaimed, so we're not going to mess with him. We're just going to skip right over him. I turned him into, or I set him up as kind of a brawler melee specialist to start off with, and we'll see where he goes from there. So we'll learn more about Medusa once someone claims him as a player.
Orders.
Next up, we've got Phantom. Phantom is a guy who, let me pull him up real quick. So Phantom was a noble on the periphery, so not in the inner sphere, kind of what some people might call the backwater systems. And he's been a mech warrior for a long time. He's been there, done that. He's been through a lot, and his noble family was basically betrayed. And so he is out looking for revenge, trying to figure out who betrayed them, and going from there. So let me, pull up something else that has more information about this guy. Why is this not working? Sorry for the delay there. But yeah, basically he's a military veteran mech warrior, and he is kind of cool under pressure. Yeah, and so they're basically looking to find the people who destroyed his house, and go from there. So, like I said, we'll be filling in details as we go. So a
Yes, Commander.
little bit shaky on the specifics, but that's cool. It's just gives us opportunities to introduce plot twists and things like that. So, Phantom, because of his military experience and background, I went ahead and gave him Tactician, or level 5 Tactics, so that he is, just to kind of represent that experience and everything like that he's got. So, kind of a cool ability. Doesn't do what it used to in classic Battletech, which basically just let you move one initiative order earlier. Now instead it gives you additional morale gain, reduces the number of critical hits you'll take, which is easily an equal trade-off. The fewer crits is kind of awesome. Rebel is another character that hasn't been claimed, as is Strider.
Commander?
And next we've got Succubus. So Succubus was a gladiator on Solaris 7. She wasn't a particularly well-known gladiator, but she had a solid record, and so she was starting to gather some fame and starting to get a little bit more well-known. And ultimately, she decided that you don't really become a legend. You don't really become someone that everybody talks about in hushed tones by hanging out in the gladiator arena and fighting each other in, relatively low stakes type setting. So she decided to sign on with a mercenary company and get out there and actually fight some real battles and prove that she has what it takes outside of kind of a controlled environment. So she is very much a showboat. She's very confident. She's ready to get out there and prove that she is awesome. So I went ahead and gave her the Guts skill as her highest to kind of emphasize that get in there and mix it up mentality that she has as a gladiator. So gave her the Juggernaut ability, so she'll be going in and punching stuff a lot. Alright, so those are the characters that we've got at the moment. We went ahead and played out a scene earlier that resulted in, let's see, the following characters. So, the deployment list for the first mission ended up being Succubus, Phantom, Glitch, and Decker. So those are the characters that are going to be going out first. Before we get into the mission, though, let's talk a little bit about the mechs we've got at our disposal. We got a pretty decent list. Starting off here with the Wolfhound, which is a cool variant on the Panther chassis. And it is got great movement, its heat efficiency is pretty good, its firepower is decent for a light mech, its durability is respectable, and this is basically kind of our sniper for the time being. He's going to hang out in the back, firing off his ER large laser, and adding in his ER medium laser and his MX pulse laser when necessary, and just kind of adding the tag in there for extra kind of team support to target or to increase the likelihood that other people will be able to hit that target. So that's the idea behind that guy. Oop, skipped one. Next we've got a Centurion A2. This guy's packing a UAC-10, which is awesome. I love that it include the introduction of the UAC and the RAC weapons. UAC being an ultra autocannon, so basically it's a big artillery cannon. And they come in two different designations. So there's the AC-2, AC-5, AC-10, AC-20. Standard ACs fire a single shot, UACs fire 2 shots, and then RACs, or rotary autocannons, fire 4 shots of a particular ammo type. So he's got his UAC-10, he can take 2 shots at a target whenever he fires it. I gave him some precision ammo and a bunch of other AC-10 ammo, so he'll be able to just fire all day long. He won't ever worry about running out of ammo there. And then he's also got an LRM-10 and 1 ton of ammo for that. So he can fire off 12 different long-range missile volleys, hopefully being able to toss some damage over mountain ranges and various other terrain if need be. He's also got a targeting system that increases ballistic accuracy, so that stacked up with the precision ammo should hopefully help him be good at taking stuff out. I kind of envision the Centurion coming in at the end after all the other mechs have whittled something down, and the Centurion delivering the killing blow, so we'll see how that works out. We've got the Shadowhawk, which is a classic. Man, this ship chatter is really driving me crazy. I wonder if I can turn that off somehow. So our Shadowhawk is our all-rounder. He's got respectable firepower, not fantastic, but it's decent. His movement is good, especially for a medium mech. His durability is really good. His heat efficiency is awesome. His melee damage is great. His range is great. He's a really good mech, and he's gonna basically help carry this this lance, I think. He can mix it up with his medium lasers, firing all the time. He's got an LRM-5 with some Artemis ammo to increase his accuracy, so he can do a little bit of indirect fire, as well as some really long-range fire. And more importantly, it's a little bit of a spread attack, so every time I shoot with the LRM, it has, you know, extra chances of hitting. Each missile has its own hit chance, so it can it can inflict a little bit of stability damage and do all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty cool. And then it's got an AC-5, so not as strong as the AC-10, so the single shot does less damage, but it's got a really long range, so he can snipe with it, and he can basically engage at pretty long ranges so that he can get into range with his medium lasers and start blasting stuff and zapping him with that. So he's good at every range, even once he gets in close with melee, so he's kind of a cool mech. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. Next, we've got the Blackjack here. It's a Blackjack BJ-1X, and this guy is basically a laser boat. He's got 3 medium lasers in his left arm and his right arm each. He's got a bunch of heat sinks, giving him pretty good firepower and a decent heat efficiency. His movement is decent, especially for a Blackjack. A lot of Blackjacks tend to be a bit slower. His durability is respectable, so he'll basically be running around, laying down laser fire, turn after turn after turn. That's going to be his deal. I gave him an upgraded gyro, which increases his hit defense. So because he's a medium mech, he'll often be a fairly popular target. And with the gyro, it should reduce the likelihood that enemy mechs are going to be able to hit him. So he can kind of harass, get in there, and mix things up, and I think it'll work out well. And then finally, we've got a Panther. Just a little Panther PNT-5T. This guy is a little bit weird. I'm not sure if I'm going to like this build, but I decided to give it a shot. He is a ballistic-only mech, if you don't count the tag, which I don't really from a weapon system perspective. So he's got 2 heavy machine guns in his right arm. He's got a Pirate HMG, or a Pirate heavy machine gun, in his right torso and in his left torso. He's got a bunch of machine gun ammo, and he's got some Tracer machine gun ammo, giving him an accuracy boost when he gets in to fire off those machine guns. The major problem is that his movement is really, really bad, which is always dangerous for a light mech, because even though his durability shows 4 pips here, light mechs just by their nature can't field as much armor. So this is going to be a bit of a tricky loadout. We'll have to see how well we can make this work. But I think it'll be fun if we can get it to work. A supercharger or an engine upgrade for this guy to increase his movement is going to be critical in order to keep him kind of, what's the word I want to say? Viable. In order to keep him viable in the long term. But at least for the short term, he should be good as a light mech against other light mechs and things like that. We'll see how it pans out. So, those are our pilots, those are our mechs. I'm just going to real quick take a look at the star map just to show off. In the base game for Battletech, you start off down here in like the Oregon Reach area, and it's, yeah, there's, or maybe this is the Oregon Reach, I always forget. Orano Restoration, sorry. So you're involved in the Orano Restoration down here on the periphery, and you don't really get into the inner sphere very much at all. You kind of make it out into some of these other systems like the Magistracy of Canopus and into the Taurian Concordat, but you don't expand much towards the center of the galaxy. So with Roguetech, they've changed that up, and you start kind of right in the middle of everything at Galatea, which is the Mercenary Review Board headquarters. And since we're mercenaries, we're hanging out there looking to get some jobs. So we've got some other stuff going on. Interesting. There's Solaris. There's another Mercenary Review Board planet there. That system might actually be good to go to later. So we'll see what we can work out. It looks like they've got, they'll probably have some decent tech to buy because they've got an inner sphere level civilization, former Star League presence, a Comstar presence. They've got a large population. They've got a mega city. They've got research. They're rich. Yeah, this is going to be a good place to go. But anyways, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. Right now, we have to worry about our finances because we got all these mech warriors we got to pay, and we've got all these mechs that we got to upkeep. So we need to get out there and make some money. We're low on funds, you may notice. I took the time to rearrange the mech loadouts to kind of fit my playstyle a little bit more because some of their original loadouts were a little bit weird or iffy for me. So I tweaked them a bit, and that took some time, which of course cost money and everything like that. So we are currently sitting at a situation where we need to make some cash. And, oh my goodness, the ship chatter. Hold on a second. I'm going to see if I can fix that real quick. Because that is... Mech warrior chatter I don't mind. You know what? Here's what I'll do. I'll just turn down the volume for the voices so it's not as loud. Because good lord. Alright. It'll work for now. So, let's take a look at some contracts. Galatea actually starts with a fair number of them. I will say I did increase the contract payment and the salvage allocations to to generous as opposed to the normal in the Roguetech mod, just because we're doing this kind of for a narrative purpose. It's still going to be challenging to keep up with the money, at least in the short term, and so I wanted to make sure that we had a little bit more time before the game goes bankrupt, because that would just be kind of embarrassing and it would kill the whole vibe. So I upped the amount that we get paid and the amount of salvage we get for each mission, just to kind of account for that. But we've got a few missions here that are half-skull missions, relatively easy. This first one is Dead or Alive. We have to assassinate a target. We've got a payroll seizure. We've got to go in and recover a payroll from the planetary government. Letter of Marque. We have to go in and kill some other mech warriors. That one pays reasonably well for a half-skull mission. But battles are always a little bit tricky because, you go in there and you basically shoot somebody's face off while they try to shoot your face off. There isn't any real other objective to it. This one, on the other hand, is an escaping spy. So we have to assassinate a local government spy on behalf of the Capellan Confederation. And they basically want to pay us to get down there and finish him off. So one skull is not terribly difficult. We have to kind of consider the long-term effects, because we'll have to pay for armor repair and things like that. So I think if we're going to go for a one-skull assassination mission, we might as well go for the Insurgent Leader on behalf of the Mercenary Review Board. It pays about 70,000 C-bills more, which is always good. And it's the same difficulty level, the same salvage amount, so it's basically we're just getting a little bit more bang for our buck here, or buck for our bang, I guess, technically. Anyways. So let's see. We've had confirmation from several sources that the leader of an insurgent cell, backed by the Lyran Commonwealth, is moving in the open. This is a rare opportunity to take out one of the primary enemies of the legitimate MRB regime in Galatea. Additionally, we'll include a bonus payment if you're able to destroy all of the target's escorting units. And then Darius, our XO, is saying, we've only got their word that this target is a terrorist, but that sort of extra-legal maneuvering is why they're hiring us instead of using their own forces. Still, best to be alert for anything. So, sounds good to me. We go down there, we take out the target, and we want to take out his escorting units as well. So, we're going to negotiate. We're going to go money over anything else, I think. And...
There's a lot of activity on the comms. You must be in on the drop ship. Probably flying.
So currently we're spending about 396,000 C-bills a month, and we've only got 494,000, so we can only pay for one more month of operations. I think if we kind of double our, not quite double our current funds, I think that'll be best. Getting a lot of salvage early on isn't necessarily the best anyways, because new mechs cost more money, which increase our funding requirements, makes it more difficult to sustain us in the long term. So I'll take the minimum salvage, I'll take maximum payments, and we'll probably do that for the first few missions, just until we can build up a comfortable nest egg. So we're going to go ahead and accept, and let's see. Who did we determine was coming with us on this mission? Succubus, where are you? Down at the bottom. Succubus, Phantom, Phantom's here, Glitch, and it looks like we've got Decker as the last one. Alright, so here we go. We haven't decided who's going to get which mech yet. I'm going to kind of leave that up to their individual skill sets. I'm thinking that Succubus is going to get the Shadowhawk, because that'll be able to get in and melee a little bit easier than some of our other mechs. So I think we'll throw her in the Shadowhawk. I think Phantom, he is going to get... I'm actually going to come back to that. Glitch, she's relatively new. I think I'm going to toss her in the Blackjack. Decker... I think Decker's going to get the Wolfhound. Even for a light mech, it's got really decent armor, and because he can split his fire into multiple targets, he's got 6 medium lasers. This will allow him to potentially hit a couple people on the same turn, which I think is a big deal. And then we're still at only a half pip, a half ton. I don't know what you would call this particular marker, but we're going to go ahead and add in our last medium mech to bring it up to our lance rating of 1 to match the 1 skull difficulty. So we've got Succubus in the Shadowhawk, Phantom in the Centurion, Glitch in the Blackjack, and Decker in the Wolfhound. One thing I should mention is that technically Rebel here is marked as the commander character for this playthrough, but we're not counting her as the commander. We're saying that the commander is just a guy hanging out in the back, kind of, basically he's me, directing forces on the ground and stuff like that, deciding how to spend the money. So Rebel is just another pilot for the purpose of this playthrough, in case that confused anybody who might have been watching. So yeah, having said that, let's get down on the ground, let's kill this guy, and let's get paid. So, for our viewers, how's it going? Got a little load screen here, so figured good time to chat. If you are one of my pilots or one of my players, please let me know. It's always good to know who's here and whatnot. Especially if your character is going to be getting down on the planet and engaging in this particular mission. That'd be cool to know. So I know we've got Nickleen, who is playing Decker, and we've got Lou, who is playing... moment. GV. So GV, he's not on this particular mission this time around. So appreciate Lou being here. He's basically going to be sitting up on the ship, keeping an eye on how things are going. So he gets to backseat drive or Monday night quarterback the rest of the pilots. There we go. So, begin mission. The load times are a little bit slow for Roguetech, sadly. Part of it, I think, is that my laptop just heats up so much. Alright, so... So, we can see our mission objectives over here. We've got reinforcements, we've got supporting forces, and we've got the insurgent leader. He's kind of far away, and we've got a group of enemy reinforcements. And kind of hanging out across this border on the operational area. So I think I'm actually going to just kind of head in this direction, see if I can't take out these reinforcements before we join up with the escorting force to the right and the insurgent leader down the center. So kind of trying to not spread myself too thin and end up with multiple targets, or fighting multiple targets at the same time. So lose other characters. So one of the things we're doing with the game is we are actually having everybody play a pilot and a crew member so that they can participate in scenes even if their pilot gets injured and ends up in the mech bay for a long time, or, you know, the worst happens and they happen to get killed in combat, they still have a character to fall back on. But Lou's other character is Bex, who is kind of the bookie for the crew. She works security on the Argo, and her background is that she basically got stuck with a bunch of gambling debt, making bad bets, and she is trying to pay those debts off. So yeah, she runs the unofficial betting pool on the Argo for the Mech Warriors. So we're just going to do a sprint here with everybody. We're going to try to get everybody on the other side of this little ridge here. It kind of hems us in, but if we can get on the other side of this, it's going to prevent any long-range fire from the other enemy forces from being able to hit us through the ridge. At worst...
If I were planning an ambush, this is where I'd put it.
Yeah, I kind of figured the ambush thing was going to happen. Thank you. At worst, we'll have to deal with some of their long-range missiles coming over the top of this little mountain peak, or this hill, or whatever you want to call it. But at this point of the game, there aren't a whole lot of enemy mechs or pilots whose indirect fire I really am going to feel too stressed about. So let's get Decker in here in the Wolfhound. I'm actually going to toss him in these trees here, because the trees grant cover, make him a little harder to hit.
Reporting enemy contact.
And, okay. Then we're going to brace him. So he takes less damage when he's braced.
Aye, aye.
They decided to pass, that's fine. Let's get the
On my way.
Shadowhawk in there. And the betting has already started. We've got another one of our players. Marcus, he's the guy playing Behemoth. And he has basically just put some money on Glitch scoring a kill. So he's betting that Glitch is going to get at least one kill. So our Centurion, a little bit slow, but we knew that just because we saw his speed rating at the beginning. But he doesn't necessarily need to be up in combat as long as he can get his UAC 10 on a target. So that'll work out well.
Waiting on you, Commander.
And then Glitch, we really want to get you up there with the Blackjack. So let's just run you up. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks like the reinforcement units are still in this general area. Obviously, some of their faster units might be further ahead, but I think we're going to be okay from not having to deal with, you know, fighting on two fronts at the same time. So, looks like we've got a vehicle and 2 mechs. Now, these guys are hanging outside the operational area, so I don't know what happened there. I didn't think that they were supposed to be able to deploy there at the beginning of the mission. But, I mean, you know, with mods and whatnot, it happens sometimes. Not the end of the world.
Waiting for orders.
Okay, so Decker's going to get in there. He's going to get first eyes on the enemy. Actually, you know what? I'm going to reserve. I'm going to see if I can get the enemy to kind of come a little bit closer to us before we have to do anything. Just so we can have a slightly better idea of the targets, and it's one less turn where we have to have Decker soaking up any damage, because that's not really his deal. That's not what he's supposed to be about. Ooh, wow. Okay, so we've got a light mech here. I'm assuming it's a light mech because it's so fast. That's already closing in on our flank, so I may have to peel off somebody, maybe Phantom, to go deal with that guy and kind of guard everybody else's backs. But for right now, let's get...
What can I do for you?
You know what? Let's get Glitch out here. we can get those lasers on this vehicle. Maybe we can take it out before it moves. And let's see what we got. We have a Drillson SSRM carrier. Okay, so a large pulse laser. That's actually kind of scary. Pulse lasers are more accurate. They deal with a fair amount of damage. Streak SRMs also more accurate. Even if they are only SRM2s, they can still deal they can still put out a decent punch. So luckily he is his armor is not the best. He's got the ramshackle condition. So a couple good hits should finish him off. So looking at 60% all around. Very little heat increase though, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do this. We're gonna hit with everything, or we're gonna fire with everything. And that is a really unfortunate result. Glitch. Glitch was only able to tag with one of those lasers. I get the feeling the other pilots are going to be giving her a little bit of a hard time about that. And because the tank is actually in the forest, there's a reduction in damage dealt. So the 25 damage should have melted through the 22 points of armor and the 3 points of structure and destroyed it. But because of the reduction in damage from the forest cover, Glitch was not able to score that kill. Had she hit with just one more, she probably would have. But I guess that just wasn't in the cards. So kind of a bummer, but we'll make do. Now, the Wolfhound here. He's meant to be a sniper. He's not really supposed to get close in. I'm going to move him up here. It's slightly elevated terrain. It's in cover. Managed to build up a couple points of evasion. And then he's going to take a shot as well. And his large laser vaporized it.
Vehicle trashed.
Alright. So that's one of the reinforcement guys taken care of. Let's see if we can get eyes on another one. No. So we won't be able to actually take another shot at another guy. So I'm going to move Succubus up in the Shadowhawk, and we will brace her so that if they start taking shots at her, she'll take less damage. And then Phantom, we actually have a couple people coming in on this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Phantom up here. How do I want to do this? I'm going to move Phantom here and turn him so he's facing the other direction so that he'll be ready to start laying some shots down on these guys as they come up behind us. And I'm going to brace him just in case they get within range. They won't be able to actually...
Good to go.
They won't be able to deal any actual damage to him. I'm going to reserve Decker again. I don't want to move him just yet, because if I do, we're going to get all these enemies taking turns, and that could actually pose a problem. Okay. So yeah, these guys closed in a lot faster than I expected, actually. We've got one guy who's skirting the... I don't even know what direction that is. Assuming north is the direction that we were facing when we came in. This guy's skirting along the eastern kind of edge of the operational area, which, you know, could be a problem if they're able to get in behind us. So let's try to avoid that if at all possible. But for the time being,
Ready for orders.
I mean, technically I could have Decker come over here and take a shot at this guy. So maybe it looks like these guys actually might be kind of trapped over beyond the edge of the operational area. They're not taking very big movements. So we might be able to use that to our advantage. So I might actually move Decker up onto the high ground here, take a shot at this light mech,
On it.
and maybe I can tag him, or at the very least I can deal some damage with some of the other weapons. Minimal heat increase. Fair chances to hit. But again, because the armor is so light on this guy, but he's got a PPC, so he's braced, he'll take half damage, but let's see what we can manage. Nice. Ah, the tag missed. That's a bummer. Okay. I was really hoping that that tag would hit, because that would have made it easier for Phantom to get in there and then tag the target with his autocannon. Oof, that's not a great result at all. That's fine. We'll deal with these guys later. So let's bring Succubus up. I'm going to put her in the trees so she's got some cover. Yeah, put her in the trees so she's got some cover. And I'm going to kind of just get her right up there in the thick of things. It's where she likes to be. She's a gladiator. And let's see what we can do. The Galleon has a medium laser and some machine guns. I mean, it's not a huge threat at the moment. This urban mech, though, has a rack 2. So that's an autocannon that fires 4 shots a turn. He's got a medium laser plus. I would rather this guy not get the chance to really shoot at me. So I'm going to turn off the LRMs, because those are too close range to really be worthwhile. And I'm going to go and take some shots with my AC-5 and my medium lasers. Nice. Nice. Okay, that was an awesome shot, actually, by Succubus. That was an AC-5 and a medium laser shot right to the center torso. Just not quite destroyed him, but at the very least, he's rethinking his life choices. Whoop, sorry about that. My camera control went a little wonky there. So let's get Glitch in here. I'm going to see if I can't get her to score that kill on that urban mech. As much as I would love to actually pick up the extra large engine that it's got here, because that actually would be really great. So would the ferrofibrous and the endocomposite armor. Ugh. But that's okay. We didn't come for salvage anyways. We wouldn't be able to get that much of that stuff. So we're going to take a shot, hope that one of them lands in the center torso. Oh, I see a couple. Yes. Nice. So Behemoth just won herself 10 C-bills because Glitch scored a kill. So that's awesome. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, kind of changing my tactics a little bit. It looks like old Phantom here won't be able to get a good shot on this Panther. So you can see how the line here, traveling from where I would end up and my target, has this green, like it goes from red to green. It means that's obscured from this point on, and being obscured decreases the likelihood that I'll hit. So rather than throw him in there and take a shot that's less likely to hit, I think what I'd like to do is actually come in here. He'll be able to shoot his LRMs, he'll be able to shoot his UAC-10, and hopefully take out that vehicle, and so that's one more target off the board. So that's the thought anyways. Built up a little bit of evasion, he's in cover. Yeah, we really just need one of the UAC-10 shots of the 2 to hit, so let's hope. No. Nope. That did not pan out. So the Galleon's coming in, taking some shots at the Shadowhawk, which is perfect because she's got the most evasion, and she had cover.
Yes, Commander.
I didn't have anything to worry about there. Do I want to just stay here and take this shot? That's crazy. That's insane. That's just ridiculous. I probably shouldn't. But I kind of want to. No, I'm not going to stand there. Standing there is bad. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move in closer to this guy, get right up in his face, build up some evasion, and I'll be able to take a decent shot. So I'm sprinting. It's going to reduce my chance to hit, but it's going to result in me moving further. It's going to give me a lot of evasion, and I still have a decent chance to hit with this pulse and the tag, so we'll just see what happens. Nice, another shot, or another hit with the large laser. A head hit, I think that was the tag that hit the head. So he's going to be easier to hit next time, so that's kind of cool. Okay, phew. So he took a PPC shot at Glitch's back, or at least kind of her rear side torso. And luckily he missed with it, so that's good. Thunderbolt missiles. Okay, so this is probably a Jenner 7X, I think is what the designation is. So Jenners are kind of fast, not particularly well armed, but they can still be dangerous if things go poorly. So let's actually bring... I'm going to bring Glitch back. So that she's kind of hidden by the rock formation, and try to see if she can finish off the galleon again. She's getting a bit hot, but we've still got a couple turns, and if she can... There we go. Nice. Glitch's second kill, taking out the weaker vehicles. Actually, she hit with most of those shots. That's awesome. So, looks like Marcus and Nick, they both agree that the Panther is smoking something. Oh, Decker. That's not good. So the Panther didn't take the shot at our Wolfhound, probably because its main weapon, its PPC, was within the minimum range, and it didn't have a very good chance of hitting. However, whatever shot us just now, despite having 4 points of evasion and being outside visual range, still was able to tag us dead center torso and landed a headshot. So Decker is a little bit bruised as a result. This is always the danger with putting light mechs anywhere near the front line. So I'm gonna have to reassess that at some point. But first, we're gonna bring our Shadowhawk.
On my way.
We're gonna bring Succubus and the Shadowhawk over here. This guy's hanging out over the line, so he might not even be able to move. I don't know. But we might as well go ahead and take a shot at him, see if we can't finish him off. We get a bonus for taking out all the target's escorts, so let's give it a shot. By the way, pilots, if you are watching and you think your pilot is going to behave in a certain way as a result of something that happens in the mission, feel free to chime in, and I will do my best to accommodate. So, for example, Nick, considering that Decker just got tagged in the face with a missile, you let me know how he would react to that, and we'll go from there. So, we're going to have Succubus take the shot at this Cattle Master. I actually don't know that particular... this looks like it might just be... I don't even know what chassis that is. It looks like a Panther chassis. Anyways, so we're going to shoot the AC-5. We're going to shoot the medium lasers. What the heck, I'm going to go ahead and toss the LRMs in there, even though they've got a terrible hit chance. Medium lasers missed, but the AC-10, or the AC-5 hit. Dealt some damage to the right arm, so we'll kind of leave that as it is. And then we're going to bring... We're going to bring Phantom and the Centurion up here onto the hill. See if we can't kind of declare to everybody that they should be paying attention to us. I fired... Ooh, the re-attack is +3, really reducing my chance to hit there. So I'm going to turn off the UAC-10, just because well, hold on, let me think about this. 2 40% chances, I don't know if that's great. This guy's pretty well wounded. If we manage to tag him with it or with one of our LRMs, we might be able to kind of incapacitate him or take out one of his components. He's got the ammo for it. My concern is just that re-attack modifier that's really messing with my accuracy. But let's go for it. What the heck? Alright, so miss on the UAC-10, which I kind of expected, but we got a decent hit on the LRMs. Cattle Master returns fire on Succubus with some machine guns. Nothing major there. So, let's... I'm going to go ahead and get Decker out of there. So I'm going to sprint to build up some evasion, get him back into the forest so he's got some cover, reduced damage, increased difficulty to hit him, and we're going to take a shot at this Panther. See if we can't finish this guy off. He's taken some decent damage. We've still got okay chances to hit. Ah. So we missed with everything but with one of the medium lasers. Managed to tag him in the leg, so he's got structure exposed in both, and he's retreating. So that's nothing but good when you get right down to it. And then we're going to have Glitch. She's going to come down on this side, and she's going to just brace because we want to reduce that heat. Because it looks like we've got that other wave coming in, and we might even already have the... Yeah, this is the Insurgent Leader, so he's going to be in a heavier mech, probably better equipped, and we don't want to be tangling with that while our heat is at max. So we're going to brace her, and we're going to get in there and try to finish these guys off before too much else happens. Alright, like I said, it's a generous JR7X, yep. Taking a shot at Phantom. Let's see. Oof. So for Phantom, I'm going to move him. Because he's in a Centurion, he's got a lot of armor, I don't really mind him being kind of in the front. His heat's getting up there, he's got that refire, his recoil penalty that he's suffering. So I'm going to brace him, get rid of the heat, get rid of the recoil penalty, and next turn he should be able to tag one of these guys reasonably well. Of course, wow. This game and the head hits, I'm telling you. So Phantom just suffered a bit of a smack to the head from this Commando, who's hanging out with a large laser and whatnot. So we'll have to deal with him here momentarily. But for right now, we're going to get our Shadowhawk, have Succubus take this guy out. He's kind of stuck there, but he's actually really not even a threat. But I didn't know that when I came all the way over, so we're going to go ahead and just see if we can finish him off. So it took out his right arm, so his medium lasers are done, or his machine guns are done. He's still got a couple small lasers, but like I said, he's really not much of a threat. I actually might just bring her back towards the main fight now and leave him here.
Commander?
Because I don't think he's really that big a deal. Decker, what do I want to do with you? Trying to see.
Receiving you.
You know what? I think this is a reserve opportunity. Let's let them kind of figure out what they're doing, and then we'll take it from there. Of course. Alright, so even with the brace and the half damage, our Centurion's, that look like the left arm, is taking a bit of a beating there. So we're going to have to turn him. You've got to be kidding me.
That hit me.
I'm telling you folks, like, the random number generator. You've got to be kidding me. Did he really just get another frickin' headshot? It's my biggest complaint about these games.
Awaiting orders.
Oh, it's totally random. You know, you just have to be good at the game,
Affirmative.
and yet 3 headshots from 3 different shots in a row on the same target kills one of my pilots. So that's absolutely insane. But that's just the way the game goes. So I guess that's the way we're gonna deal with it. Let's see what we can do about the situation as it stands. So let's get Decker
Ready for orders.
to come over here, and yeah, let's get Decker to come over here. We got a lot of targets here, folks. What are we dealing with here? It's a Shadowhawk. I'm telling you, all of these assassination targets end up with the most ridiculous mechs. This guy's running 2 clan pulse laser cannons, or pulse medium lasers, 2 clan pulse small lasers, 1 clan UAC-10, and 1 clan streak SRM-4, which means that basically all of these things are hitting harder because they're clan technology, they're more accurate because they're clan technology, and yeah, so that's fun. We'll just have to deal with that the best we can. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take out this Panther, hopefully.
Copy that.
Alright, there we go. Those are some decent shots. We took out the leg, so he's going to be on the ground. We should be able to finish him off while he's laying there.
Waiting for orders.
Alright, so that's that. Let's get Glitch and the Blackjack up onto an elevated position.
Moving to position.
I'm actually going to... I'm not going to Vigilance her. I am going to take all the shots. It builds up a little heat, but I want to make extra sure that we're able to hit this guy and take him out. Alright. So the Panther's done. He's out of the fight.
Destroyed.
We've got 4 more targets that are actually a threat. Let's go ahead and bring Decker back here, see if we can't kind of get him out of the line of sight of this guy, but more importantly, we'll get him in the trees. We'll build up some evasion for him, and then we're going to take a shot at this commando, see if we can't take him out. I actually think I'm going to use offensive push. It'll reduce his... that's not really going to help much. I think it's more important to hit this guy if we can. So let's go ahead and let's take the shots. Well, we were able to take out those large lasers, so he's not going to be hitting nearly as hard. He's just got his SRMs to deal with, so that's not too bad. I think we tagged him too, which means he's going to be easier to hit for all of our future attacks. And it looks like the Thunderbolt missiles from the Jenner missed, so that's great news. And then the commando is going to go. And he's going to shoot some missiles at Glitch. It's a few missiles that Glitch has taken,
Yes, Commander.
but not the end of the world. Rotating the camera around a little bit, and let's see what we can do on this commando.
Affirmative.
Even though he's not much of a threat, he's still a bit of a threat, so we're going to try to take him out if we can. I'm actually going to turn off the UAC, because we don't have... well, we're only shooting once. Let's do it. If we hit, great. If not... Alright, so we managed to tag a couple long-range missiles. It was definitely a gamble shot there, but I thought the benefits outweighed the risks. So... a couple hits from the small pulse lasers there, eating away at our armor on the left arm.
Good to go.
I'm going to move Glitch into here so she can get all 6 shots on this guy at a decent chance to hit. Kind of leaves her out in the open. Makes me a little bit nervous. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Vigilance her so that she'll take... she's got guarded, so she's going to take half damage. She's got some decent evasion. And yeah, hopefully she'll be able to melt this guy and we'll be able to refocus our efforts elsewhere. Nice. Alright.
Enemy down.
Alright. Glitch is doing pretty well. Decker. I think this is that Jenner that was causing us problems, so we're going to move in close to that guy. Because he's got the Thunderbolt missiles, he's not going to be particularly good at dealing with close-range attacks, whereas our laser weapons are still actually fairly decent in that regard. We're kind of running close to the red here with the heat, but we're fine for the moment, so let's just keep it up. Okay. That was a... yes! Nice. Okay, so we took out the torso, which also took out an arm. So he's down 1 weapon. He's down to 50% firepower. So we should be able to finish him off. Yeah, when he's just throwing 1 Thunderbolt missile at us, I'm not nearly as worried about it. And then I think I'm going to leave Decker to deal with this. Actually, you know what? Let's get Glitch back in here. Let's finish this guy off. Glitch is cleaning up with this Blackjack build. I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, we should be able to melt some stuff off this Jenner. Nice. Okay. So both torsos done.
Critical hit, Commander.
All weapons gone. Structure exposed on the center torso. Now we just need to deal with this thing, and I'm not entirely sure the best way to do that. Yeah, because he's just hammering at us. I'm gonna have to turn my
Heavy damage.
I'm gonna turn my facing towards him so that I can. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Actually, I think I want to... Is this going to protect me from... I think I want to move here. And kind of... I'm going to try to bring her around, actually. So that she can come around this side of the mountain. And the other two can kind of come up from this area. And hopefully we can get him caught in a bit of a flanking maneuver. See what we can do there. Of course, the drawback to me sprinting is that it's not going to reduce my stability damage. So I'm going to have to consider that moving into the next turn. I could have... I should have paid attention. I could have actually given her the Vigilance ability, so she would have been able to handle that, but it's okay. It's all good. I'm going to have Decker come up and take a swing at this guy, see if I can't reduce heat and take him out at the same time with a decent punch. So it'll build up a decent amount of evasion for Decker as well. So it's not the... come on. Oh, did I just get another headshot against him? I think I did. I think I hit him with a headshot with the tag. So even though it only did 1 damage, it still counted, which is crazy, but that's the rules. So I'm gonna move Succubus in. I'm gonna brace her. So she should be ready to go. This guy's moving around. That's not great. Okay, but he did a full move. Ooh, I wonder if we're gonna go in and take a swing at him at this point. That may be the best, the best choice. But let's get Glitch kind of coming in around his backside. I'm gonna sprint her in so she can close the distance a little bit quicker. This will reduce some of her heat as well. And then we will have to go from there. So let's see what we can do. If I go here, I can take a shot at him. But I do have some instability that I might want to deal with, actually. So I'm going to play it slow. Actually, I should have done that differently. I should have come in and taken the shot at him using offensive push to reduce his initiative, increase the likelihood of jump on it. Because otherwise he was going to do that. Exactly that crap.
That hit something important.
That's insane.
Commander.
Chances to hit him are terrible in melee, so we are not even going to mess with that. And instead,
Yes, Commander.
we're going to have her bug out to the other side of this, the other side of that mountain, so that she can kind of get some, what's the word I'm looking for? Get some backup from Glitch over here. So, yeah. So we're trying to kind of pull him in so that we can attack him from a few different angles. We don't want to... We want to try to avoid him getting the drop on any one mech. I mean, he's kind of been beating up on Succubus, which is annoying. How the heck? Like, just everything he's throwing is hitting almost. It's
Armor
ridiculous.
breach. Internal damage.
All right,
Standing by.
Decker, let's have you come in.
On my
Hopefully,
way.
you can lay a tag down on this guy, increase the likelihood I'll be able to hit him with my other pilots. But he builds up so much evasion, it's ridiculous. What I might do is, no, I'm just gonna fire normally at him.
Locking in all weapons.
All right, I
Target
tagged him.
damage.
That's awesome.
Concentrate your fire and bring it down.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna bring Glitch, or sorry, Succubus here, presenting my right face, or my right torso, my right side. And I am going to Vigilance her, because I want her to take less damage. Turn that off, and we're going to fire with just the lasers and the LRM. It's ridiculous that my chances to hit are so low when they've got 4 points of evasion, and yet when I've got 4 points of evasion, it doesn't seem to make as much of a difference. So let's go ahead and bring... Yeah, let's go ahead and bring Glitch and the Blackjack up here into the trees. I'm losing some accuracy because I'm shooting out of the trees, which kind of stinks, especially when his... Like, wow, why are my chances so low? Hold on, let me check this. Target moved +8. Terrain +1, and I moved +1, and then the long range is +4. So yeah, I'm going to need to get Glitch closer to him. But in the meantime, a bunch of 25% shots, and of course none of them hits. Okay.
That would be a miss.
So let's see how this is going to pan out. We've still got this little guy sitting in the back here. We're not going to worry too much about him.
Good to go.
I think I'm going to move Decker in here. I don't want to move him in there because it's too easy for the guy to flank him, or like get him behind him. So I'm going to move Decker here.
Acknowledge.
And then I'm going to go ahead and offensive push to knock him back in the initiative order.
Acknowledge.
Alright, was able to hit him with the pulse laser at least. And he's knocked back in the initiative order, which means my other pilots are going to be able to act before he does. So that's kind of cool. So let's bring Succubus up. Still keeping my right side facing him.
Roger that.
Another couple missile hits, but laser misses. That's unfortunate. Ugh, that's a terrible situation. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Glitch here. It increases the likelihood that she'll hit. It keeps her in cover. Hopefully she'll build up some decent evasion. And hopefully she'll be able to land a couple of these hits because we really need that right now. Okay, so last time we missed pretty much every shot. This time we hit pretty much every shot. So we were able to put some decent damage on him. Melt through some of his armor. It's just insane.
Took a heavy hit there.
Yes, Commander.
But now I'm shooting at his back, which is actually kind of cool. I think I'm going to bring Decker up here, and I'm going to do the offensive push again, firing directly into his back. Knock him back in initiative order. Maybe we can get Glitch back there as well to also fire into his back. Everything missed. That's fun. But at least the offensive push still knocked him back in his initiative, so we'll see how that pans out.
Commander?
Here we go. Yeah, we can get her right here. Although, if we do that, he can then get in behind her, which I think is bad. So I'm going to bring her here. Slight rise in elevation. I don't have cover, which stinks, and I've got the stability thing to consider, but I need to do something kind of drastic because this guy is... Are you serious?
Systems recycling for another shot. Aye, aye.
RN Jesus, he giveth and he taketh away. As people are prone to say. Still really annoyed about it because I'm sure his hit chances can't be stellar, and yet he's always managing to tag us. So, how do I want to do this? Sadly, I kind of have to keep Succubus back a little bit because having a mech completely crippled would be kind of bad for us. So we'll have to see how this kind of pans out. I'm going to turn the AC5 back on for a bit of a miracle. Well, the AC5 hit, and of course everything else missed, but I guess we'll take what we can get. So we missed with that. Structure exposed on the right leg.
Warning! Structural damage!
Orders?
She's got evasion loss, so he's definitely going to hit her now because, of course, he is. Let's see, can I do anything about this? No. I can move in here, try to shoot him in the back again. Maybe we can convince him to eject if we deal enough damage to his rear armor.
Roger.
I have missed with so much. Oh, good. Glitch was able to move again, actually, so that worked out. Let's see. I want to turn her left side to him. Left side? Yeah, left side. I mean, I guess I could just go all out, but that seems a little bit ridiculous. Alright, that's my right side. That's not what I want to do. So if I'm facing that way, that is my left side. Oh, this is not great.
Got it.
Gonna have to go with it.
All weapons are go.
Ugh, so many misses. And yeah, I realize my shots are not, like, fantastic, but they're also not terrible. Gotta be kidding me.
Commander?
Yay! Let's see what we can do about this, if anything. Probably not, but we'll give it a shot. Alright. Let's turn off AC5, keep the LRM, keep the other stuff.
We'll go. Commander? Awaiting orders.
Well, nothing else seems to be working, so let's see if we can't hit him with a melee attack. 66%, but none of our other weapons are any better, so... Nope. Oh, this game. Yeah, Marcus, you are 100% correct. It's got ridiculous stats. On the one hand, I kind of get it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a decent mech. You know, you're here to assassinate somebody, so of course they're gonna have all kinds of crazy stuff. But it's a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. Like, because if we look at it, it had a total of 1,085 armor, and it's a medium mech. It's 55 ton, yeah, but it's only a medium mech. And it's running with, like, pulse clan lasers and all that stuff, and it's supposed to be a 1-star mission. Like, I don't know. I don't necessarily always agree with the way that these things pan out, or the way that these things are statted out, but that's just kind of the situation we're left with, so... And of course, none of those hit the center torso in the rear. Oh, that's insane.
Commander?
So let's see. How do we want to do this?
Yes, Commander.
Chances to melee hit it are pretty terrible. What am I missing now? I'm missing 1 medium laser. And of course, I'm missing my AC5. So that's beautiful. I think our best chance at this point really is Glitch coming in and shooting him in the spine. So let's hope that works. Yeah, the full clan mech thing is a little bit crazy. That's actually a cool addition that they added, is having the clan technology and clan mech builds in there. But I wish they were a little bit better scaled. Just because when you're dealing with basically... Oh, maybe? Oh, seriously? Come on.
That's a critical hit.
Alright, well, let's see what happens. Normally they start to bug out by now. Usually they, like, when they've taken this much damage, they fail. But that's not happening here. He's just going to keep shooting and killing everybody. And of course...
Good to go.
Alright, so...
Moving to position.
Glitch is going to keep overheating, keep taking shots at his spine, and we're going to see how things go.
Firing everything I've got. Critical hit.
Oh, and of course she's shut down, so she's basically a sitting duck for him, so that's great. We probably will just do a reload of this mission, now that I'm a little bit more aware of the ridiculousness that we're going to be running into. And since all of our mechs have been crippled, so, yeah. But that's fine. We got a little bit of a view of what the Roguetech mod brings to the... and of course he was able to shut down despite being almost at max heat. So yeah, fun. So that's that. He shut down from heat now, though. Good timing, I guess. So I should mention that my luck in these games, whenever I'm live streaming, is I'm not going to use that word. Is the pits. It's kind of frustrating, but it's just the way it is. So, yeah. We're going to go ahead and reload that, and we are going to try the mission again. And we will do that when we come back in the next mission. We're going to leave it here as kind of a training exercise gone wrong for the pilots. I think that's the best way to handle it, because I don't want to have to reset the entire game. And if I go back to the Argo with a bunch of mechs that I can't use, then that is absolutely what is going to happen, like 100%. So I think the lesson here is start with the half skull missions, because good lord, like, if the one skull missions throw full clan variant mechs at you right at the beginning, along with basically 2 full lances of mechs. I guess it wasn't 2 full lances. It was 1 lance of 2 mechs, 2 vehicles, and then 1 lance of 3 mechs. So technically 1 full lance of mechs and 2 support vehicles, plus this jerk. So yeah. Now we know what to expect. That's good. I actually hadn't really played since the most recent update with the Clan Tech editions. So that tells me that we have to be even more careful. And yeah, so lesson learned. Great simulation, folks. We'll keep our pilots, we'll keep our mechs, and we'll reload the game and start over here in a couple of weeks when we do the next mission. So yeah, or actually maybe we'll do 1 week. I don't know. We'll figure that out just because of the nature of the way this mission went. Definitely rough, but it's a good learning experience. So thanks for tuning in, checking out the game, seeing what happened. Kind of embarrassing on my end just because, you know, I thought we started off pretty well taking down the other support units, and then this guy was just... I mean, what can I say? He was just OP. Coming in there and being able to shoot from massive distances, and he hit pretty much every shot that he made. And having like the 3 headshots on Phantom and taking out the Centurion, I mean, we were down a mech pretty much halfway through the mission. So that's kind of ridiculous, but that's life. If you go and watch our YouTube channel for Ravensdale Publishing, you'll see my XCOM 2 live stream attempt, and it was pretty much the same thing, where I'd be flanking people with like 98% shot, or not 98%, but like 90%, 80, 85% shots, and I'd miss consistently, and then they would turn around and they'd wipe out my mech or my squad from full cover. So it was a good first stream. We got to test it out. I made sure my audio settings are working. I made sure that it was streaming. Our health was good. We didn't drop any. We didn't drop a lot of frames. I'm not going to say we didn't drop any frames, but oh yeah, actually we dropped relatively few frames. So that was actually pretty awesome. So it was good. It was a proof of concept. That's what this was. It wasn't a failed mission. It was a proof of concept, and for that purpose, I think it worked beautifully. So thank you for tuning in. We will we'll see kind of how the pilots react to this little training exercise, and yeah, we'll go from there. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Sorry it was so anticlimactic, or I guess climactically bad. I guess if that's what you were going for, you know, you got what you were after. But yeah, see you in a week or two. If you go to Storium to check out the game, you can see our schedule. So on Storium, it's called Battletech, and let's see, Tip of the Lance, and I'll just give a link to the game itself in the comments. So if anybody wants to check it out, they can just go right there, and they'll be able to see the game and watch the characters interact and everything like that, and get a little bit more idea of kind of what's going on behind the scenes outside of just the missions themselves. So yeah, thanks again, and we're signing off. Have a good night.